Just two guys and we're having a good time, having a good time, having a good time. Just two guys and we're having a good time, having a good time.
Welcome to High 5 Wrestling. I'm DW.
And I'm Chicago Ted. We're new to the YWC and IWC community. We'll be making 1 to 2 videos every week about what we think about the shows, the roster, what you guys think. No, we don't care what you guys think.
That's true. All right, but we're gonna go. We're gonna go through 5 things we like currently about the product in the WWE, and 5 things that we.
5 things that I don't like.
Yeah, specifically Chicago Ted.
6 things.
Yeah,
that I don't
we had to
like.
go. We had to go 1 extra. Okay, number 1. We think the mid card. You get a little bit of Alex Riley, Dolph Ziggler, Sin Cara, Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett. We think those guys, they have a real bright future. I don't necessarily like how they're being used, but I think that, the way that their characters are portrayed, or the way they use their character, I think it's just effective. I think that they are, good wrestlers, and they, are going to go far in the business. I think, number 2, we're going to CM Punk and Sheamus and Wade Barrett.
No, CM Punk, before we continue, he's picking CM Punk as one of his top mid-carders. I like him, he's okay, but he acts like he's the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the PG generation. Instead of beer, though, he's drinking Kool-Aid.
Pepsi. You got the tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, I'm glad he's not doing drugs because, he's hardcore straight edge or something like that. And it's fine that he's not doing drugs because, as we saw with Evan Bourne, you lose valuable time in front of the camera if you do. But he acts like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's against the corporation. He talks into pipe bombs. He acts like he's setting the whole thing ablaze, like he's never been the first to do that, or like he's been the first to do that. And he needs a new persona, although I do like his music.
Yeah. But, we definitely think we're looking forward to them being up in the the main draws as opposed to John Cena and Randy Orton.
We'll elaborate on that.
We'll get to that. Okay, point number 3 is tradition, just the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series. We're getting the Survivor Series classic tag team match.
The 6-man tag.
Yeah, 6-man tag. Between Team Barrett and Team Orton this year, so it's going to be good. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And the Royal Rumble this year, it always is exciting to watch. Right? They've kind of cheated us a little bit on the Rumble because the last 4 winners, haven't won. But it's definitely always exciting. But and number 4 is just that it's getting better. It's not 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. That product was all about Cena's rise to be the main top guy. And,
Orton loved to kick everybody's skull in.
Yeah, it's getting better. This week we saw Wade Barrett beat Orton clean. It was actually pretty refreshing to see. The product is getting slowly better. Hopefully, it might not be the next Attitude Era, but it's
it's coming to its own finally.
Yeah, maybe it'll break away from the PG era a little bit. So, point number 5 is just that we're not focusing on lame weddings.
The last good one, it seems like, was Stephanie and Test.
Yeah, too many with Edge and
Edge and Vicky Guerrero.
Stephanie.
Edge and Lita.
Yeah.
Edge and Lita. Edge and a hand broom. Edge and a janitor.
Yeah.
Getting sick of all these Edge weddings. That's why he retired. They were going to have him do a gay wedding with Christian.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for the special 6 things we dislike about today's PG era. First off, number 1, there is way too many pay-per-views. When I can watch Judgment Day, come back to Raw the next day, and see 3 weeks until the Great American Bash, and I'm being, I'm joking, but if you can see 3 weeks, there's not enough time to develop for good pay-per-view matches.
Yeah, it's difficult to watch sometimes to digest that. Let's focus on Royal Rumble. Let's focus on the big 4.
Royal Rumble, Survivor Series,
Yeah, SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
That's
I'm fine with that. If they weren't so greedy, they would do that.
You know,
Maybe
I know you're not a fan of Money in the Bank, but that'd be okay. But give us
the Bank ruined the ladder match, and it's disgracing WrestleMania.
We don't have to have 13 pay-per-views a year. It's too much.
And if you're gonna have 13 pay-per-views a year, don't make them all $65 a piece.
Yeah, if you're gonna charge that much, lower the cost
that's ridiculous. WWE,
it's too much.
Step your game up. All right, what's number 2 say? Oh, lack of proper build-up of champions. Like, I think, and I hate to say it, the last one to really rise to power was John Cena, that I can think of.
Yeah.
Some people talking about with the lack of rise is Sheamus. He came in, like his first match was against John Cena, and then he beat him in an upset. And then like the very first pay-per-view, he beat John Cena in another upset, became the champion, and then held it for like a month, and then lost it to, I think, John Cena. I don't know. It's safe to say John Cena.
That's pretty similar situations with Jack Swagger, Del Rio. Del Rio, it was just such a quick title change for him, and he, I don't know. I didn't care for how they built him up, and they make him look weak with Money in the Bank with CM Punk and The Miz. Like, he didn't have any title shots except like Jerry Lawler. It makes him look weak. It doesn't devalues the title.
Speaking of devaluing the title, number 3 on our list, John Cena.
Yeah.
If you were paying attention,
In the side order,
and I know you were, he put Randy Orton on the list. He can go ahead and talk about that. If you've been paying attention, we've been ripping on John Cena a lot. Now it's time to elaborate. The man pretty much, it's like he bought all the camera equipment for the WWE and signed a stipulation that he had to be on it every 5 minutes so they could use it.
They must be paying him just out the butt.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They didn't even have Austin on as much as they had Cena as their face of the WWFE.
He has to be like the main event for everything, and I like him as a big draw. I can understand that, but man, for everything, he doesn't have to be the solution.
He's either in the main event or he's in the title match. That's it. He just doesn't do anything else.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Spread out the airtime.
Put people over. It's about developing new talent, and when you're the current talent, you kind of have to put people over. You have to kind of step aside a little bit and let other people rise up to fame, and because we can't properly build people up when we have people like John Cena.
Number 4 would take care of this problem: the lack of hardcore.
Yeah.
When you saw Rhino come out with that shopping cart full of trash can lids, trash cans, kendo sticks, mops, etc., you knew you were in for a good 10 to 20 minute match.
Yeah.
The most entertaining 10 to 20 minutes you were probably going to get all night. Rhino, I mean, does anyone else miss when Hardcore Holly would just walk around backstage and just get jumped by 3 people that just couldn't seem to get him for some reason at the Funko Land or whatever that was? And once at the day's end, just, you think they're going to a match that was scheduled, and then they get jumped backstage and pinned by a ref that happened to be drinking a soda conveniently, and all of a sudden we have a new hardcore champion. I miss that. I know you're going to preach, don't try this at home, WWE safety, Chris Benoit at me, but, it's not like they didn't know what they were getting into at the time.
Yeah. And, the lack of hardcore stuff, that kind of definitely is a great segue to our next point.
Just a lack of titles. You don't see the cruiserweight. You don't see the light heavyweight. Yeah. The tag team titles are a joke.
Yeah, and the
hardcore was retired by Mick Foley.
The Intercontinental and U.S. Championship aren't, they aren't out there enough. You don't see enough matches with them. They aren't defended enough. Take away one of those titles, and I think you could really make a good case for a cruiserweight or a hardcore championship.
Just bring back some of the titles. I mean, it's just a shame that you have a roster of 30-something people all going for one title.
Yeah.
And they're either hardcore champion, they're either heavyweight champion, WWE titleist, or they make it like they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And the last one is just the blatant misuse of advertising. You cannot have John Cena go out there and tell, bodily function jokes to the PG crowd, and then turn around and have, what was his name? Keith Stone hand a 24-pack of Natty Light, or no, not Keystone Light to the Bella twins so he could ride on their arm. That's the last time I saw him.
Yeah, and Twitter.
And just, I saw an ad recently. If I go buy $30 worth of merchandise at Kmart, I get $10 off the video game. I better go run out and do that. Does anyone even know where Kmart is anymore? Do they still exist?
That's a good question.
They own Walden Books, they're gone. They own Borders, that's gone. They own Sears, soon to be gone. And now they own their own little, Kmart's originally a store, and I heard they all smell bad.
Yeah. Let's get them out.
Yeah. Kmart, step your game up, WWE.
All right, guys, this has been the first installment of High 5 Wrestling, and just stay with us, and we'll be making a video here in the next couple days, and we're gonna make a video of who we're liking right now in the E and TNA and ROH, and people that we're disliking.
Yeah, definitely gonna cover the disliking.
Okay, so I'm DW.
I'm Chicago Ted.
All right, and we'll high five you later.